Juan that April with his sure as soot the drocht of March hath persed to the road, and bathed every vine in such liquor, of which virtue engendered is the floor. Juan Zephyrus eke with his sweeter breath, in spirit hath in every holt and hath the tender crops, and the young sun hath in the ram his halfy coursey run, and smale fooles maken melodie that slepen al the nicht with open ye, so pricketh hem natuur in her courage, than longen folk to goen on pilgrimage.
Chaucer wrote those opening showery lines to the Canterbury Tales more than 6 centuries ago, in 1387. For millions of people since, the Canterbury Tales have been the flowering of the medieval English language, and also a great staging post for English literature. Chaucer, pictured here as one of his own pilgrims, wasn't the only writer of his time, and he didn't invent the language he was working with. But he, more than any other, recognised its richness, the potential in having at his disposal vocabularies from high and low society, drawn from French and Old English, and he worked it to the full. Chaucer was a Londoner and an important man, with connections to the royal family and a high position in the civil service. He'd travelled widely, perhaps even been a spy, and he knew Latin and French. He might have been expected, like many other English poets of the time, to write in either of those languages for an exclusive audience. But he didn't. He chose to write in English, the English that was spoken in London.
Language of London would have been a huge mixture. You've got people coming in from the central Midlands, from the northern Midlands. From the northern Midlands, they'd have bringing more Scandinavian terms because it's an area of strong Scandinavian settlement. But we'd have also have heard French loanwords, which people would have heard in literature as well. So it's a vibrant variety of English.
Befell that in that season on a day, in Southwark at the Tabard as he lay ready to wenden on me pilgrimage to Canterbury with full devout courage, at nicht was come into that hostelry well 29 in a compagnie of sombre.
This is where the Tabard Inn used to stand. Now it's the rather dismal backyard of Guy's Hospital. This is where Chaucer's pilgrims gather before setting out on their pilgrimage to Canterbury. The buildings may have gone, but Chaucer's characters, a cannily constructed cross-section of medieval society, live on in his writing.
A knicht there was, and that a worthy man, that fro the team that he first began to readen out, he loved chivalry, truth and honor. There was also a nun, a prioress, that of her smiling was full simple and coy. A merchant was there with a forked beard, in motley, and he on horse he sat. A good wife was there of beside a bath, but she was somdel deaf, and that was scath. The miller was a stout carl for the nonnes, full big he was of brown and eke of bonus.
The pilgrims set off for Canterbury, a journey of about 3 days then, and to pass the time they told each other stories. The stories have a range of styles, from serious moral fables to bawdy farces with episodes that wouldn't be out of place in a carry-on film. What Chaucer did most brilliantly was to choose and tailor his language to suit every tale and its teller. The creation of mood and tone and the realization of characters through the language is something we expect of writers today. So it's difficult to realize how extraordinary it was when Chaucer did it. He proved that reformed English was fit for great literature, which gives him a key part in our story.
This gentil cock had in his governance 7 hennes for to do all his plaisance, which were his sisters and his paramours, and wonderlik to him as of colours, of which the firest hewed on her throat was cleped fire dam o saile pertelot.
Can you tell us what language is predominating in this particular passage?
Well, you've got so many French words, haven't you? They really hit you between the eyes. Even today, I think, you'd notice them. Gouvernance, plaisance, paramour. In fact, Chaucer is thought to be the person who introduced paramour into the English language himself. And those words, plaisance, gouvernance, all appear from about the 1350s, so they're quite new at a time when Chaucer used them in Nun's Priest Tale. The question, of course, is why is he doing this? Well, it's odd, really, isn't it? Because this is a story about chickens. It's a story about a cock and his hens. And you'd have thought that perhaps a less refined language might be in order. But Chaucer is playing with the whole idea of an exalted style. And so he's investing these hens and cocks with a feeling of great literary quality. You know, it becomes almost a mock epic.